So on the site, we have a list of the top 25 most influential Southern rappers.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the top 5, right?
Alright.
The first is Scarface, Bun B, Lil Wayne, Andre 3000, and 5 is Miss Elliott.
You consider her Southern?
Virginia.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Oh, well, that's the list on the site.
Okay.
And your rank's at number 22.
Okay.
In your opinion, who would be like the front runners of Southern rap?
I definitely think Andre 3000. You know, Bun B, UGK. You can't take the whole Cash Money era out when they was doing their thing. And I'm talking about people that originated it. You know what I mean? You can't take Goody Mob out of that. You can't do that. Just really the pioneers, the cats that kind of paved the way for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just feel like, sometimes they're forgotten. Like the Scarfaces are forgotten. And I don't think they should be. You know what I mean? Because the shit that they was kicking was really real. Ghetto Boys, DJ Screw, you know what I mean? Soldier Slim. You can't forget these people, man, because they really touched the hearts of men and they really put us in a position to have a voice. And I think sometimes people think about the now, you know what I mean, the right now instead of, where it really came from. You know what I mean? When you think Barack Obama, you still got to think Abraham Lincoln. I mean, you can't forget that. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel.
New album's about to drop. And we've been waiting forever for this album.
Yeah.
Now is it Jeezy being a perfectionist? Mm-hmm. Or is it the label not doing what you feel the label should be doing?
I mean, I felt like in the beginning I already had a vision, and it's about to be 2012, and I just felt like for my people, my culture, and, who I make music for, the timing wasn't right. When the label wanted to be time, and I always knew it was going to be in December because going into 2012, I just felt like we needed that motivation and just that new music that was going to get us through the new year, man, because, you got to think, there's a lot going on in the world. The world is really fucked up right now, by the way, and the only thing that gets us through is music, you know what I mean? And having great records is cool, but having a album that's going to touch the hearts of men and get people through their day is something else. So I always felt like, the new year was a better time for me. You know what I mean? And my people. And just who I make my music for. So I wasn't trying to make no deadlines or no, deadlines and things like that. Like that wasn't no quotas. That was never on my mind. Just within a budget or nothing, because I recorded on my own dollar, like I always do. And I felt like I was going to hold my album until I felt like the time was right, which is now. And a lot of that has to do with why I did a lot of mixtapes, in the gaps, because I wanted people to know that I wasn't, kicking my feet up and being lazy. I was actually just getting everything together, because I ain't the one for excuses. I would never do that. I would never make an excuse, and we here now and everything's right. The documentary is great. You know what I mean? The album is great, and, it's just time for us, man. It's our time.
That moment when you felt like, okay, this ain't just something I'm doing because I'm passionate about it, but this is something that is really turning into a real serious kind of situation. Because, the buzz started in Atlanta, and it started to kind of spread. And I remember, like, that whole time when everyone had snowman shirts on and everything. It was crazy during that time. Do you remember any moment where it's like, damn, like this is really becoming bigger than I thought it was really gonna be?
It was when I did my first couple of shows that I really kind of knew that, I had a real voice and that they was really listening, because they recited Big, they recited Pac, but you don't recite a kid that's from Georgia that, the local, Atlanta people know. And I think the bootleggers had a lot to do with that, because they was, bootlegging the mixtapes and sending them to other states. And I think at that time, Atlanta was a hub. So you had Magic City, Visions, all that type of shit. So people would actually come to Atlanta to hang out and hear the music in the club and go back home and take it. And that's how I kind of started spreading out. But the minute I knew it was real, really for real, was when I'd be out and grown-ass men and come up and tell me, like, man, like, I love what you're doing. You changed my life. I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers throwing, $50,000, $60,000 in my van, you know what I mean? It was crazy. Like I used to have
they're throwing 50,
60,000 in my. I had somebody throw $50,000 in my, and we was out somewhere, and somebody walked up to my van and threw the shit in there. It was like,
wait. So you was just hanging out in your van,
yeah,
and someone you didn't know,
yeah,
walked up to the van, it was in a duffel bag.
It was in a bag, and they threw it in the car, and then they told me he loved me, and I was like, whoa, man. And my homeboys was scrounging for it, trying to get the money. No, I'm serious. They was like trying to get it and put it in their pockets. I'm like, yo, man, and I got as much of it as I could back, and I gave it to him. I said, yo, this ain't about that. You know what I mean? This is about you. This is what it's for you to get your money. And that shit was crazy because it went to being like that. Like, I had grown men, walk up to me and cry, like straight up. And that shit's like, I was gonna kill such and such, but I listened to you, and I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But that's when I knew I had a responsibility. It went from being, the cool nigga in the club to, hey, man, you got to really watch what you say and watch what you do because you're a leader and they're following you now. Right. You know what I mean? So it got really real fast. You know what I'm saying? So it was different. It was like I was making more than music. Like I was, it was almost like I was preaching, It was almost like I was preaching. It was like, every word, everything you said, they lived and died by it. I seen motherfuckers with trapper-dye tattoos on their face, chest, arms, whatever. And that's when it's like, okay, it ain't just music. I just lost a homeboy over Twitter beef, so I don't think it's no joke, not at all. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to, the kid, and he was a good kid.
What happened in that situation?
Him and I don't really want to speak on because I'm quite sure it's still open, but okay. You know what I mean? I lost my homeboy and I had to be in the hospital. I left the club, I got a call. I left the club, came to the hospital, and I had to sit there with his mother, and like this. That's why I tell you, like to y'all, this shit is questions, but to me, this shit is real. I sat in the room with his mother and his brother. The nurse walked in and she said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, you lost your son to multiple gunshot wounds to the chest," and she walked out and left her to deal with that. And I had to sit there with her and comfort her. I also attended the funeral, and this is 3 weeks ago. So my thing is, I get it. Everybody got ego. Everybody's tough. But, I feel like this shit is meant for networking. And my thing is, these kids got to know they can't take this shit and make it a negative. You know what I'm saying? They can't be fucking killing each other over words. You know what I mean? I feel bad. I had to sit there and bury him with his brother. You know what I mean? And I attended the funeral myself. And, it kind of hurt me because, 3 weeks prior to that, we was all hanging, smoking, and having a good time. And it's just crazy to see what these kids are doing today over some internet shit. You know what I mean? And it almost made me not want to be on Twitter no more. And it's probably why I haven't really just been on it because I'm just like, damn, like what the fuck is going on? I understand everybody's tough these days. And, tough economic times make shit really frustrating for people. But it's one thing to have an argument in your neighborhood. When you start beefing on fucking Twitter and people start dying, that's when we got a problem, bro.
How do you feel about the Boosie situation?
I feel like it's fucked up. Because, besides me, the only other person that I ever felt that people loved and respected and went by every word he said, right now was Boosie. And, I think that was a big blow to hip hop. You know what I mean? I think that was a big blow to music, but I also think that, a lot of these cats out here running around acting like they about that life, they should look at that because, Boosie is going through a lot right now. You know what I mean? And just to go and have to get, sentenced, on some shit like that, like, that's real, man. He's fucking, he's a kid, man. Like he's in a situation that you don't want to be in. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be powerless when you have all the power. And, he was a leader in his own right. So for him to be taken away, it kind of left these kids in disarray because they was really with him and he was really a part of their struggle. And it just talked to his mother and when I talk to her and, talk about the case or whatever, it just concerns me because it's like, damn, here you got this kid that's wonderful at what he does and he can't even do it no more over some bullshit.
Have you talked to Boosie?
No, I haven't talked to him, but I definitely supported everything that's been going on with him. And, it's nothing to brag about because I would do it for anybody, but he's my brother. So, real nigga shit, like I'm there. Like I talked to his mother, she came to a show or two, we in constant contact, and she kind of keep us and let us know what's going on with the case. You know what I'm saying? I also put my lawyer with him, You know, it got me out of a lot of jams, and you know, just to help out as much as I can, man.
I understand you and Meech still maintain a relationship.
Yeah.
What's that relationship like these days with Meech being gone for what do they give him, like 30, 40 years?
Yeah. I mean, shit, he still want to go to Magic right now. That's what we talking about, Magic City. You know what I mean? You can't, like, wait, dude, you can't kill his spirit, man. He's a different type of dude, man. I mean, he just always been a strong individual, man. And I don't think that the prison is, you know, it is what it is, man. But I just think that he's not letting it kill his spirits, man. You know, when you talk to him, he's in the best of spirits, and you know, he's always calling and talking to people, and you would think he was home. You know what I mean? You can't hear it in his voice. You know, some people, they get in there and you hear it breaking them down. And he's cool, man. He's keeping his head. I give him that.
What do you think made Meech, you know, drew so many people to Meech? What was
because he cared, my nigga. Like, he really did. Like like, he's a genuine dude, and I just think, you know, he just always wanted to see people in a better place. You know, even the conversations that we had, and I'll be the first to say, when I first, you know, started popping off my music with Great, like, Meech was one of my biggest fans. Like, he loved it. Like, I would do shit and come from the studio and get in the car with him, and we would ride and smoke and listen to that shit and just trip, you know what I mean? Like, and he would just be like, nigga, you said that. He loved it. And I tell anybody, if that motherfucker could rap, he would be a rapper. Like, he was that type of motherfucker. Like, he just always wanted to, like, he know how to shine. He just wanted to get his shine on. So his whole shit was, you know what I mean? We used to say, we're going to shine like new money, Jeezy. Like, you know what I mean? They ain't going to see us coming. That was his whole shit. And, you know, he loved music, man. You know, I used to go fuck with him, man. He'd sit around the house and smoke weed and fucking play music all fucking day. And when I say all day, I mean until it's club time. So he gonna get up at 9 a.m. and play music until it's 12:31. You know what I'm saying? And time to go to the club.
Out of all the times, you know, because I only got to party with Meech once.
Yeah.
And I still remember it. But someone like you who knew him really well, out of all the times that y'all partied together, what was the craziest shit that you experienced with Meech?
Craziest shit?
Craziest.
One time, hope I'm not gonna get in trouble for this. One time, this motherfucker called me and said, "Yo, Jeezy, we going to Cancun." I said, "Who, Meech?" "We." "Who the fuck is we?" "Everybody. Call everybody you know. I'm gonna call everybody I know." This motherfucker chartered a plane, not a jet, a fucking plane, and took 300 people to Cancun, Mexico. Every stripper in Atlanta, everybody who wanted to go, nobody was exempt. And we flew to Cancun on a fucking plane that he chartered. And the motherfuckers was serving Cristal on the plane. And fucking, he didn't want to sit down. He didn't want to sit down, and he wanted to fly the plane. No, straight up. The pilot was like, "We're going to turn around and go back to America if you guys don't sit down." And his whole thing is, I paid for this motherfucker. I want to fly it. And, you know, everybody was on that flight. Juvenile, Bone Crusher, everybody Lil Jon, everybody you could probably think of. And we went to Cancun, and this motherfucker bought the whole hotel. So every night, we all get together, and probably like 300 of us, and walk to the club every night. But we went to the same fucking club every night. This shit called The City. And we all get together, 300 deep, all black t-shirts, and we walk to the club. And we had a fucking ball every night, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy, but he took 300 people, literally. And man, when I say that was the best time I ever had in my life, man, I mean, it was fucking Cristal as far as you can see. You open up the refrigerator, you would damn near be blind, man. And it was just like, it was just whatever, man. That's the type of person he was, dog. Like, but one thing about him, you can never get the best party experience, because this nigga party every day of his life. Like, I promise you, every fucking day. And if it wasn't nothing, he was gonna make it something, you know.
How'd you feel when you heard about the verdict?
I mean, you know, I was touched, but you know, my man, he a soldier, man. You know, we signed up for this. I mean, you know, especially when you get into that life, you know what I mean. And I think, you know, he kind of felt what was. I don't really want to speak on that, because I'm quite sure, you know, this thing's still going on. But you know, he a soldier, man. Like, you know, he took it on the chin.